Okay, today we're going to take this dirt bike wheel off. It's absolutely freezing in the garage, so I've got my coat on, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Okay, I'm just using the old XLR even. First thing to do is to get your bike up on a stand. I've got a little Tech 7 stand, nothing to them, really decent, lightweight, easy to carry about. Want it on the stand so the wheel can move. And then we're going to need a socket set. And then I've got a little rubber mallet there, but I don't always use that. I don't need it for this bike. Just depends on your fittings. So the process is going to be taking that caliper off, that one, and then you may have a nut here. This bike doesn't. And then if we turn it over, these are what you call pinch bolts. And sometimes you'll have a little plate. This plate here will be that way up. Have two pinch bolts, and then you'll have the same on that side. But on this bike, like I say, it doesn't have that. I actually do everything from this side. So let me get this camera on a tripod and get going. Okay, so doesn't really matter what type of axle you've got going through there, whether you've got a nut this side or not. The first job is to take the caliper off. You don't have to, but it just makes life easier, and obviously I'm assuming you're going to be putting the wheel back on. So I'll just get it out of the way. The next thing on this bike, going to be undoing them pinch bolts. No. That is a 10mm. So you don't need to take the plate off. Just need to undo them so the plate becomes loose, so it's not putting any pressure on the axle. And then this axle is threaded on the other side, so it screws into screws into that part there of the fork. Your axle may come right the way through. The axle will be threaded, but then a nut might go on the end. If that's the case, you'd undo that nut, then you'd come around here, undo the pinch bolts, and indeed if you've got pinch bolts on that side, do the same. So size 17. That's going to undo the axle. That sounds like it's out the thread. Maybe not. So that's just pulling out. If you lift the wheel up slightly, it's going to come out, and then the wheel's just going to drop down. Sometimes if you've never taken it out before and it's been ages since it's been out, even though you've undone the bolt on the other side or the thread if it's like mine, you may need to give it a tap. That's where the hammer comes in. But always use a rubber hammer. If you haven't got a rubber hammer, use a standard hammer, but make sure you put a block of wood in between the hammer and the thread, just so you're not damaging the thread.